Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Different Stages Radio. I'm your host, JJ, and I'm pretty excited to welcome to the Different Stages Radio studios for the very first time lead vocalist, guitar player for the band Bad Wolves, Daniel DL Laskiewicz. Did I say that correctly? How are you, sir?
Man.
Greetings.
Laskiewicz, yeah, they're all good.
I want to do it good, though. I don't want to butcher your name. Is that why you choose the DL, just to keep it simple?
Yeah, DL kind of got coined on tour because there's always so many Daniels on tour. So when somebody yells Daniel across the room, it's like 20 guys turn their heads. So
like Bob, Mike, Dave. Pretty exciting stuff going on. Again, I'm recording this just so listeners know we're doing this on October 24th. You got the new record, Die About It, coming out on November 3rd. This is going to air around that time. Pretty exciting times for you. You got 3 singles in the bag right now. A lot of excitement around the record. Your first kind of second full album with the band, should we say, or third? How would you like to kind of, because you were involved with Nation to an extent, correct?
Yeah, very little.
Okay.
I guess it really depends on who you ask and how you look at it. But for me personally, this feels like my first album with the band, to be honest with you. Even though, you know, I was on Dear Monsters, but it was just such a weird time joining the band at that time and kind of hitting the ground running. And the band already being so far into the process of production on Dear Monsters. So yeah, I hit the ground running on that one. They were like 50-60% done with the album before we actually started collaborating on Dear Monsters. So you know, once we got in the room, we started writing, we did the thing. But this one just feels fresh and different, and like I had mentioned, it feels like the first album just because I was involved in the creative process from the beginning, from the ground up. I was able to be a producer on this album with John and Josh, and you know, it's my lyrics, it's my themes, my ideas, and yeah, this album feels a lot more personal. I definitely am more invested in this album, and it feels like my band now. And yeah, just especially with the material and the direction that we've kind of gone in terms of like growth and everything. Yeah, it feels like a total reset again. It's like cool. Every time we put an album out, it feels like a reset.
So lyrically and musically, you're involved in both ends, or one more than the other?
Yeah, I both in the same, pretty much. You know, this band in particular, you know, it depends on what song, but there's so many filters that a song goes through, and this was, you know, there was no difference on this album. Whether they start a song, the guys in the band, Doc and John start a song, and it goes through my desk over here, and it really, no matter what happens on their end, it still kind of comes through my filter over here, through my studio, and whether it's lyrically or me grabbing my guitar and jotting something down or working on a drum beat or something. So that's kind of what I mean in terms of being involved from the ground up. There's been parts on the new album that I actually played guitar on. Yeah, I was just much more so involved in the production of this album.
Awesome. And you got a pretty big fall tour coming up. Some cool, we got some separate headlining dates, but then also the slot with Bush. And I'm in Vancouver, British Columbia, if you're not familiar where that is. I'm sure you've heard of Vancouver, but that's where I am. And I think this might be Bad Wolves. If I'm wrong, please correct me. Have Bad Wolves played in Vancouver? I don't think so.
Not that I can think of off the top of my head.
Exactly. So you'll be in Vancouver December 5th at the Orpheum, which is a great venue if you have not been there. It's a wonderful theater. Yep. What can fans expect, look forward to when they come see Bad Wolves? Because people here have not seen you. Unless they've traveled, of course.
Well, I think that you can expect a really energetic show. I hope the crowd brings their singing pipes, because we have a lot of big chorusy songs that we would love. There's nothing, you know, this is all still a few years into being in this band. This is all still very new to me, and there's still like so many exciting things that I experience every time that we play shows or go on the road. And that's one of my favorite things is when we play live, when the crowd sings along with us, and there's certain songs where the crowd is singing even louder than what we're playing. So that's really cool. And yeah, bring your pipes. sing along with us. That'd be great.
Excellent. So back to the album though. So I was noticing there's multi-formats coming out. If people haven't gotten on it, maybe they've missed out on some of the specialty colored vinyl. I saw there's 3 different vinyl pressings coming out, as well as CD and cassette. You a big music collector yourself?
Oh, man, I wish I could say that I was invested in the field of collecting like vinyl and all that, but I'm not. I can't even remember the last CD I bought. And don't get me wrong, I'm a huge proponent of physical copies, and I'm an old school guy, you know. I still love that stuff, but Spotify and Apple Music and Deezer and all of these streaming platforms have just made it so easy, right at your fingertips, to listen to what you like when you want to listen to it right away. So, but I do understand the collector's mindset, and I wish I could do that. There's just no point in me starting that now.
Oh, come on.
Amazing collection behind you, so
Yeah.
there's no way I'm ever going to catch up to.
I can assist because
Yeah, man.
back in the day I had a store. This was my shop here. If I'm doing some delicate pimping here. I used to sell the Acacia Strain records back at my shop in the day. So
Cool.
Yeah.
So much.
Yeah. So it's cool to kind of bridge the gap and bring this all together now. So it's kind of cool having you on.
Cool, man. Thanks so much. Yeah, I do love a good physical copy, especially for the fact that I think when somebody buys a physical copy of something, they're much more appreciative of the album they just bought, and B, I think that they're more apt to give it the respect of listening to it front to back. And I think that that's super, super important, and something that we still care very much about when we're putting together an album. We put a lot of thought into the arrangement of the songs and just how it starts and the peaks and valleys and flow of the track listing and stuff. So, although we've put out 3 singles, like you mentioned, and that's cool. It's nice to, obviously you have to give a glimpse of what's to come, but I'm really excited for November 3rd for the album to come out, because I think that especially this album too, it's kind of paramount to listen to it front to back and to really like kind of zoom out and get the big picture of where we were going stylistically.
To appreciate the full-on flow and purpose of an album, which is very much lost. And again, the thing too with physical product is that you can't get a digital copy of something signed. So if somebody comes to, hang around in the bus after show, it's like, oh, hey, you want to sign my, here's a tangible product.
Well, that's a thing too now.
Yeah.
Like the digital signatures, just like press a button and it's like the thing that you.
Yeah.
I don't know. Weird times, man.
Totally weird times. So I was noticing during this Bush run, you also have a few headlining dates kind of slid in as well. I assume there'll be more of a proper headline tour probably come next year. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. We've been talking about it for a while, but I think before we put together a full US run, we've done some headlining. We did a headlining like kind of like mini run this past summer, which was really fun to do. But I think before we kind of like go full in on doing a full US run, we really want to like get a sick package together, whether that's bands on our label. I know that that's what we're doing on these upcoming headlining shows. We're going to be playing shows with our label mates, Ava Under Fire, which they're an excellent band too. So it's going to be really fun. But I think before we do our own full US thing, which I'm sure will happen this year, we really want to dial in the package and get bands that we think that A, that we fit with, and B, that we love. So
right. And I was noticing on the tour you're bringing along a touring guitarist as well. AJ, is that his name?
Yeah. From Issues. I can't say too much about him because I don't really know.
Okay.
I don't really know him that well. We've had dinner. I enjoy his company. He's sweetest guy ever, and I enjoy the work that he's done as far as Issues goes and everything. And we're really looking forward to having a dude on stage with us that has chops like him. He's a badass guitar player, and him and Doc play really well together, and he's got that right hand. It's something that's really necessary to play guitar in Bad Wolves. You have to have that really tight, rhythmically balanced right hand. So he's got that.
He's got that perfect.
Yeah, and we're not going out there and being like, oh, AJ's in the band and this and that, because we've done that, and Sometimes it falls short, or sometimes guys can't honor their commitments, and so right now we're just dating. Us and AJ, we're going on a date.
Okay. The occasional dinner, but you're not taking him home after?
That's right. Yeah, we're not introducing him to mom and dad just yet.
But there's time.
But we really like it.
Okay.
We really like it.
Noted.
Yep.
So you kind of touched on it earlier. Now that it's you're saying your first full album with the band. So I assume now you feel much more comfortable. You feel that you're more stable. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's fair to say. I think naturally, because of the history and everything that's gone on with the band since I've joined, there's always kind of been this little glimmer of instability in the back of my head, especially too, because this is just even if I came into this band and it was a perfect situation, it would still be kind of weird for me because I was never a singer in a band. There's a lot of learning curves throughout the past couple of years. So even then, it would be kind of an undertaking. But considering how crazy it's been, the history with the ex-singer and just anytime there's a big member change like that in a band, some people are okay with it, some people aren't. I mean, there's both sides of it, and for us, it just got really just annoyingly ugly online and just really unnecessary. And so there's been a lot of toxicity since I joined the band in terms of online and social media and fan base kind of being divided over what singer they like. And I know that happens. It's happened with bands like Queensrÿche, et cetera, et cetera. So all I can do is put my best foot forward every day and give the fans and the band the best of me. And other than that, you kind of put it out there, and they kind of either accept it or they don't. And that's kind of the mantra of this album as well. Die about it because of how noisy it got at certain points with member changes and stuff. That was just kind of our way. Everybody always says cry about it, if somebody's being annoying or something, and that's just kind of the next step of that, of us just being get the fuck over it, kind of, you know what I mean? So that's pretty much the ethos of Die About It.
That's tough.
It's tough, man.
Yeah.
It's a cold world out there. But
it feels like a reboot in many ways. Like the way I'm seeing it, seems that this is sort of a bit of a reboot, more of a focus, and it seems that there's a lot of drive there. And I think this is something that people can really get on board with.
Yeah, absolutely.
Relationships do break up. It's a fact of life, but it seems that there's some serious intent right now to do good, and I can feel that. So
yeah, absolutely. We do too as a band, and I think us being able to talk about it a little more openly now, that's really cathartic for us as well, because with everything going on, there was also legalities, and there's even a song that kind of touches on that, NDA on the new record. And there was many times where things were being said about us by whatever party or whatever, fans or whatever, that we couldn't even really, we didn't even have the opportunity to defend ourselves verbally. You know what I mean? And there was times that we just, it was pretty brutal, but now it feels good to be able to just talk openly. And that's our biggest thing. Because I think because of how silent we've had to be, we've just been kind of, I guess, silenced just for the simple fact of legalities and stuff. But it feels good to be able to talk openly about things now and just bring some honesty back to the band. And I think that lets people relate to our situation a little bit. And, there's who's to say that the band can't choose who they want to be in a band with. I heard Doc say this maybe a week or so ago to somebody, and it's so true. It's I've been in situations too where you join a band and you get a new member or whatever. There's a member change, and you kind of go through this honeymoon phase where it's at face value, this dude's works great in this band. He's technically working and at some point, you know, there's friction or something. There's something that doesn't work. Because when you're in a band, it's as close to a relationship as I can think of. It's you're basically married to these guys. You know, you're in a metal tube for months, weeks at a time, and you have to get along, and the environment has to be an environment that everybody can thrive in. And if one individual isn't working or something, then like why is it so frowned upon publicly for the band to make the decision to take a step back or take a direction where it's going to benefit the band? Like why I still don't understand why people have so.
Well, they take it extremely personally.
Take it so personally, and I do understand a little bit of that, because you become invested in a band, you become invested in the personalities in the band, so I do get that part of it. But I think if you're a true Bad Wolves fan and you want to see the band continue and grow and still put out music, then I think being a true fan, you would want the band to do what's best for the band. And that's what we always try and do. So
seems like a simple request.
Yeah, it's not that hard.
No.
And it's not personal, and it's not like we're not vindictive, and we're not like trying to be shitty. It's just sometimes you know, couples break up. Sometimes people don't get along. Sometimes people have different, you know, it's like no harm, no foul. We don't have any hard feelings towards anybody. We really don't.
No.
And we just want people to know that.
Yeah, and it's with, I think, bands too, people sometimes forget to acknowledge, or fans at least, that it's not always who's perhaps the best player or the best singer that's in the band, within the band. It's often who gets along with the other band members, who's somebody that you want to be hanging out on the bus with and spending days off with. It's not like, oh, you're a phenomenal player, but when the show's done, it's like, I just can't stand being around you.
Yeah.
You know,
when things get physical between brothers and this and that, it's not a good thing. So there has to be a level of chemistry when there's a bunch of a group of guys trying to create art, and I think we absolutely have that, especially, you know, hearing the new record and seeing how smooth it is from the ground up this time to work together. It's pretty seamless, man. It's an incredible group of guys that are all super capable of being solo artists on their own and producers on their own, and it's a very unique situation that I've never been in a band. So
that's awesome. Well, I appreciate the insight. Pretty excited about the new Bad Wolves album, Die About It, coming out on November 3rd. Multi-formats on vinyl, compact disc, and cassette, and digital. But, you know, physical's where it's at, but any supporting of the album is always appreciated. DL, I thank you for coming to Different Stages Radio and supporting us. And we will see you in Vancouver on December 5th with Bush and Eve.
Man, Ava Under Fire, Bush, Bad Wolves, how exciting is that? And thank you so much for having me on, JJ, and make sure you get that. I know you'll get your hands on the coolest vinyl copy that we have. We got those nice gold ones and stuff, so
I'm on it.
Please, if you do come out to that show, please say hi, and any of us in Bad Wolves would love to talk to you again anytime you'd want us to come on here. So
I appreciate that. That's very, very courteous of you. Okay, you take care.
Thanks, brother.